So here now with Arcus. Arcus, you're the coordinator of the vera.ai project, and you also, as CERTH, you're working in a lot of different domains. What is the main outcome you're expecting of your work from vera.ai?
Well, our primary raison d'etre for taking part in this project has been to evolve a bit our detection capabilities, detecting content that is manipulated and synthetically generated. There are also many other things, as you said, that we are interested in, but those are the primary capabilities we are interested in. And it sounds like a single problem, but in fact it is quite a complex challenge, because there's not a single type of synthetic or manipulated content. I think it's essential to understand that every day we have new, especially these days, we have new generative models coming out. Many of them are open source, others are available as services that everyone can pay a few dollars to use, or sometimes even for free. And these lead to different kinds of synthetic media content. We build a detector for one, and next month a completely new architecture emerges, or quite different architecture emerges. When I say architecture, I mean neural network architecture, because that's what's behind these synthetic media these days. And then the detection you had built is not effective anymore, so there's a need for constant update and monitoring of the situation.
So when you say detector, so what is that? How do I have to imagine that? Is it, I mean, I know you're building individual tools, but if I'm a journalist, if I work as a journalist, what can I expect as a journalist to get out of your work as precisely described as possible?
A detector is a piece of software where you enter an image or a video, in our case, and it outputs a probability, or something that you can think of as a probability, a score between 0 and 100 typically. And this tells you whether the detector considers the input image or video to be manipulated or synthetically generated.
And do you expect this to come to a yes, no, correct or wrong decision, or is it more granular that you think the outcome is, like you're saying, a percentage of likely to be true? What can we expect there?
Now there's a certain nuance to that. You can never say with 100% confidence that something is really, manipulated. I mean, there are cases where you are almost certain, but in most cases you want to leave some doubt, and that's where also the human factor comes into play. I mean, you consult these detectors, and you have often not a single detector but multiple, and then you run an image through multiple models. Maybe one or two of them, lead to a high score, and then you would still need, I mean, if you want a bulletproof decision, you would still need to consult with some expert. I mean, in many cases, if it's something that you've also encountered before, it might be quite straightforward to also decide on your own. But whenever you have even the smallest doubt, I think it's good to also use these tools always in combination with some expert opinion.
And I know from working with you for a long time that you're working on so many different areas, from image forensic, for example, trying to decipher whether an image has been tampered with, or so, to geolocation service, trying to understand where something, for example, has been filmed. Now, if you take all the work, the different features you're working on, the different areas, where do you think, or what would you say are the three most important, most likely to see sort of the world features or tools that you're working on in vera.ai, but also wider? What are the primary tools or services that journalists or users can expect out of your work?
Well, I think the image forensics, so the possibility to detect tampering by more traditional means like Photoshop, is something that is already used by fact checkers and journalists, and we get many questions about it. The synthetic image detection and also deepfake detection are also of very high interest, and I believe by the end of the project they will also be mature enough to be more widely used. And there are also other, I think, auxiliary tools like retrieving near duplicate video content to help journalists find clues.